The Vancouver Canucks make multiple moves, including signing Vilmer Alriksson to a 3-year contract. We're going to break down this and more later on this episode. Before we start, I just want to give a huge shout out to the almost 4,600 of you guys that are subscribed. If you're enjoying the content and you want to stay up to date with everything to do with the Canucks, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button. We'll be here all off season in the next season, giving you updates from around the Canucks. But with that, let's hop straight into the first topic today, which is the Canucks make multiple moves. Now with the Canucks, with the preseason, obviously there's so much on the go. The Canucks are trying to figure out lines, trying to get new faces familiar with their system, but the Vancouver Canucks make multiple moves today, which included sending some guys down to Abbotsford, including Ty Young, who did get a tiny bit of action with the Canucks. You work your way down, and you can see that Vilmer Alriksson did get assigned to the golf in the junior leagues, which we will touch on shortly. If you want to pause this, if you want to look through some of the names, the biggest name, as I said, would be Ty Young and Alriksson. You can see on the bottom, General Manager Patrik Allvin has announced the club has made the following roster updates. Now looking at this, there's so many names. There's so many prospects that are still within this organization that have not been sent down yet. And there's a lot of names not in the NHL, including Alriksson, who is going to golf. And you look at some of the non-rostered forwards throughout the leagues. You can look at guys like Melvin Fernstrom, a guy the Canucks drafted this year who's been explosive with Abro HK. You can work away Riley Patterson, Anthony Romani, Tom Willander. There's so many guys on this list, and we're going to see Alriksson join these guys. We're going to see guys like Ty Young head down to Abbotsford, compete in their training camp, which I believe starts on the 2nd to the 5th. So we're going to see some more Canucks working their way into Abbotsford so they can get ready for their season. Now, looking at this roster, there's still, like I said, a lot of players that are not sent down. The biggest one being, and none other than my favorite prospect, Jonathan Lekkerimäki. When you're looking at this team, the Danton Hyman, JT Miller, Brock Boeser, this is once again from Daily Faceoffs. This is not what I'm projecting, but this is what they have. Jake DeBrusk, Elias Pettersson, Jonathan Lekkerimäki, which we will touch on in a second, Höglander, Bluger, and Garland, where Sherwood, Suter, and Sprong. The biggest thing to look at with this is the fact that Jonathan Lekkerimäki is still on this team. Yes, a guy like Aatu Räty has been outstanding for this Canucks team as well, and he would bring a nice right-handed attitude to this bottom six into the fourth line if he was to play center there, in a guy like Pius Suter if he wasn't there, or promoted into the top 6 or into the top 9. When you're looking at this team, I think Jonathan Lekkerimäki actually has a shot to make this team out of camp. We're looking at a team that is missing guys like Dakota Joshua due to injuries. We're looking at this team where they need another spark plug to be put into this middle 6. Maybe him, Pettersson, and Jake DeBrusk can continue working on this chemistry. We see in the preseason alone, a guy like Jonathan Lekkerimäki in 3 games has 1 goal, 2 assists for 3 points. He's a +1 playing an average of 15 minutes. Daniel Sprong comes in right behind him with 2 games played, 1 goal, 1 assist. You can work your way down. Brock with 2 points. You can work your way down even more and see a guy like Jake DeBrusk who has looked outstanding with a guy like Elias Pettersson. This team is poised to have a good year, and I think getting a rookie up into the system, a rookie that can work with this team, a rookie that can grow. Yes, you have to burn a year of its ELC if you want to keep him up for more than, I believe it's 9 games, but having a guy like Jonathan Lekkerimäki into this top 6 to start the year where the pressure is not as high. Yes, you want to come off, you want to come into this season being hot out of the gates. We've seen the Canucks do it last year, which brought him all the way to almost the 3rd round. But having a guy like Lekkerimäki, letting him be hungry on this team, letting him get some reps on this team is going to be huge. But what are your guys' thoughts just looking at some of these guys? I know a guy like Daniel Sprong is obviously going to make the team, but is there anyone in here that's kind of standing out to you? Is a guy like Räty who's been actually explosive, great on the faceoffs, winning 56.8% of his draws? Is a guy like Jonathan Lekkerimäki that's coming, or is there anyone else on the non-reserves list that you're kind of excited for? Is it a guy like Fernstrom? Is it a guy like Anthony Ronnie that Griffin absolutely adores as well? There's so many prospects, there's so many names, there's so much happening. the biggest thing with this is the Canucks hockey starts soon, and make sure to get excited about that. But we'll hop straight into the second topic, which is the Canucks signed a guy, and that's Vilmer Alriksson. Now, a lot of you might know who Vilmer Alriksson is because I see a lot of names and a lot of people talking about him in the comments. But we can see the Canucks sign him on a 3-year entry-level deal. This was put out by the Canucks Twitter, talking about the PR as well. When you look at this contract, Alriksson, who is just 19 years old, a left wing, 6'6", 214 pounds. He is a big boy himself. 860 cap hit signed on a 3-year deal, and this will be the first year. Now, obviously, going back, we know that he did get sent down to the juniors, so he will continue to work with the Gulf Storm in the junior league as well. But having him signed on a 3-year deal, having a guy like this locked up who's looked explosive in camp, and I'm not just talking about speed, Alriksson has made a name for himself enough where they did, once again, sign him to this contract. He's been great for this club. He looked great in the preseason. Obviously, he's gone back to juniors, but bringing in a guy like Alriksson does look good on the Canucks. A guy that once again played in the OHL, 67 games played, 17 goals, 16 assists for 33 points. Going into the playoffs, 1 goal, 0 assists, and 1 point total. You can see he was drafted in the 4th round, 107th overall in the 2023 draft, just 19 years old, born February 18th, 2005, so it is a bit of an early birthday. But a guy like Alriksson coming in is going to be great, and especially on a cap hit like this. We're going to see a guy, and this is from just EliteProspects.com, saying the 6'6" winger is a capable skater. He finds open space in all 3 zones that helps him drive and attack. Best defenders with body fakes off the rush or finishing intriguing shooting skills from in tight. This was from the 2023 draft guide. But having a big guy, a guy that's a capable skater, the biggest thing with big defensemen, or sorry, big forwards, I should say, the fact that a lot of these guys can't skate quite well, but having a guy that's 6'6", someone that can skate, is an intriguing thing, and I think it's going to be quite big for the Canucks, having this guy locked up on a cheap contract, a guy that's going to go in with the list of these guys. As I said, we're going to see Alriksson kind of dominate the OHL. Fernstrom's playing in the Swedish Hockey League. You have Romani going back, I believe it's the OHL as well. Same with Riley Patterson, and a guy like Tom Willander, who is a top 2 and debatably the top prospect for the Canucks as a whole. Having all these guys within the systems, having all these guys signed on cheap contracts, especially $860K, once they do make the league, this helps with the cap space. Yes, an OEL contract is going to almost double going into next season with the buyout. Yes, you're going to have assigned a lot of guys. I mean, if you're just looking at this, guys like Brock Boeser needs to be brought in on a new year deal. Having these guys who are under 900Ks, guys that you can put into this lineup, is a massive thing for the Canucks. But what are your guys' thoughts on this Alriksson signing? Do you think he's going to make the Canucks maybe as early as next season? Let me know down in the comments. But speaking of comments, let's hop in everyone's favorite topic, which is comments of the day. Comment today comes from Cody. He says, Quinn is breaking 100 points mark this year. I 100% agree. I think it would be a disappointing season if Hughes does not break it. Obviously, a disappointing season for Hughes would be something I can't even fathom at this point, as I think he's going to break out and possibly win another Norris Trophy. But what are your guys' thoughts on everything we talked about? If you want to go down and leave a comment, you could be featured on Comment Today like Cody did today. Way down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark Pye, and take care.